guys, welcome back to my channel. Please ignore my horrid appearance and the fact that this video is very delayed. There is a good reason for it, I swear. This is my new daughter, Thea Jane Knights. She was born on the 13th of June 2017 and weighed a whopping 10 pounds 1 ounce. So as you can probably guess, this is my labour and delivery story for my second baby. I hope you enjoy today's video. So as I said, I'm really sorry that there has been a bit of a delay with this video. I had filmed loads of footage right from the beginning of when my contractions started, right through when we came home from hospital, and I was editing it during one of the night feeds, and in my sleep deprived state I actually deleted all of the footage, so I'm really frustrated at myself. I'm trying to go through it the best I can. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it as well. Okay, so my labour started off on the 12th of June. I sort of felt like during the day I'd been getting really mild, like low back pain, sort of like right at the top of my, and she was already a week late at that point, so I thought this is different than the normal aches and pains I've been getting at being 41 weeks pregnant. So about 5:30 we were giving Isabella her dinner, and I remember like it wasn't like a constant pain, it was there, but it was like a dull ache. It got to about 7 o'clock and I put Isabella to bed, and it definitely was getting worse at that point, so I said to Ben, I think this is it. I went and had a shower. A couple of weeks ago, a midwife appointment, they told me that I had strep B, which is, if people can have it, it's like a normal thing to have, but it can be quite harmful to babies if they come into contact with it. So they've been prescribing me antibiotics for a few weeks, and they said to me when I was in labour I'd have to make sure that I got to hospital in plenty of time so that I could go on a drip at least 2 hours before having her. We rang them at 8:15 to make sure that to know when to go, and they said to arrive at the normal times when the contractions between 1 and 4 minutes. At this point they were probably about 1 every 20 minutes, so to pass the time I was just sort of like cleaning and things. I know it sounds really strange, but because I couldn't sit down during the pain I kind of wanted to make sure I was up and mobile, and cleaning was just a great way of like keeping my mind occupied, so I was sort of like wiping down the kitchen sides, washing up, just cleaning the sink, things like that, just to pass the time. So obviously we have Isabella, so we couldn't leave her by herself here overnight, as she was tucked up in bed, so I think we ended up calling my mum at about 9 o'clock and she came straight over. And the contractions, I think they got between like 3 and 2 minutes, so I left it a little bit late really. We left for the hospital, which is only a 10-minute drive away, at about 10:20. We got there at 10:30 and we went up to the ward, and we rang the buzzer to get in. They said, sorry, like you're gonna have to go downstairs, and they said actually the room you were meant to be in, the delivery room and the assessment room, hasn't been cleaned yet, so we're just, a woman has literally just given birth in there, so you're gonna have to wait in this like waiting room. Half an hour to 45 minutes went by, and again, so at this point I had no pain relief, so I was in a lot of pain. As I said, I couldn't sit down, so I was sort of holding on to whatever I could find and just trying to like breathe. It sounds weird, I was breathing to where the pain was. I know that's impossible because it was like right in my lower back, but I felt like I was really breathing down into that place. And I honestly felt like with each contraction I could feel her like lowering herself down. 10 o'clock before we actually were told, yeah, you can go up to the next floor. My midwives were really nice. I had a normal midwife and then I had a student midwife, and they were both really lovely, but it took them a while to actually get themselves sorted. I think it was really busy that night and they misplaced my notes, and they didn't actually give me an exam until 11:45. Half an hour for them to actually put me in my room, and then another 45 minutes for them to actually examine me, and I asked for gas and air and pethidine pretty much straight away because I was in that much pain. But when they did examine me I was actually 6 to 7 centimetres dilated, so I was so happy. And it was so busy, another woman had gone straight into the delivery room, again where I was meant to be having her. So they had to wait for her to come out and then for it to be cleaned again. And I think, so I had my pethidine injection at 12 o'clock, and you can have them once every hour. I was still in that room for another hour. They hooked me up to the IV then. 1 o'clock came, they gave me another injection, and then I think it was about 1:10 that they said, yeah, your room's free, so I had to walk down the corridor again in massive pain. I had gas in there at this point, so it wasn't too bad, and I'd had 2 pethidine injections, so I was sort of away with this. As I said, the pain was getting a lot worse at this point, but I remember saying like I think I need the epidural now, it's getting really bad. The doctors came in, they started like wiping down my back and things, they put me in the gown, but to have an epidural, for anyone that has had it or for anyone that doesn't know, you have to sit on the edge of the bed like leaning forward with trying to hunch over, but my contractions were coming so fast, I was in so much pain that I couldn't physically do that. my waters hadn't broken either at this point, so they said, how about we examine you, and if we break your waters it may be over within 5 minutes, and you know, you won't have to have the epidural. If you have the epidural, then it may take longer for it to kick in, and the labour will just go on for longer minutes. So I was like, you know what, let's just do that. I just want to get it over and done with now. I've had enough. They broke my waters and I did start pushing. I remember thinking, why did I not just take the epidural, because I would be doing this without having to feel a thing. So it felt like I was pushing for ages, but Ben said it was literally a matter of like 10-15 minutes. It wasn't very long at all. For anyone that would describe it, it's like a Chinese burn. Like many people would probably call it the ring of fire. And when she was actually on her side, so like most babies, their back is to your belly, and they look, if you see through, they'd look through your back. But she was actually like on the side, so she would be looking out of my hip with her. And when she came out, I remember feeling her head actually like turn, and it was just, oh, it was just the weirdest, worst feeling ever. In comparison to the first time, I do think it actually was easier. Obviously it wasn't exactly like, it was not easy in the slightest, and it was extremely painful, but it was easier than the first time. And I remember like her head was out and her body was in there, and she was actually like wriggling, and it was just, oh, it was just such a weird, bizarre feeling. So she was born on the 13th at 2:44, but at the moment it's kind of lightened up a bit, but she had jet black hair on the day and really dark blue eyes. They're now starting to lighten up. But yeah, she's got a lot of hair. She's got a permanent frown on. I think she was born and she hasn't actually stopped frowning since. Yeah, she was 10 pounds and 1 ounce. I could not believe it when they said how heavy she was. She's actually in up to 1 month clothes already, and she's only a week old. I feel like she's just making our whole family complete at the moment. Of course it's taking some adjustments to actually get used to having her, but it's just gone so well, and I'm just so thankful that everything's gone okay. Taken to big sisterhood so well. The first thing she said was baby, and she just wanted to give her a big cuddle, and every morning it's the first thing she wants to see, and she's sort of enjoying helping like feeding her and things like that. So she's taken to sisterhood really, really well. Strange coincidence, well, my nanny had a daughter called Sarah Jane who unfortunately passed away shortly after birth, and we thought it would be a nice way to help remember her by using the Jane part of her name in Thea's name. We had that name planned pretty much from the moment we found out we were having a girl, so from 20 weeks. So from January we've had that name planned out, and a spooky coincidence is that actually she was born exactly on the day that Sarah Jane was born. It's just one of those weird things that has happened, and she's born on the exact same day, so really spooky coincidence. Considering she was a week late as well, it's like she had to hold out to that day. It's just so strange. But my nanny is really happy that we've done that, and so that's pretty much how it's gone. Once again, sorry for the delay, but I hope this video has made up for it. Of course, if anyone has any questions or wants to go through anything with me, just let me know. If you are new, or if you enjoyed today's video, please give a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe as well. I will hopefully be posting regularly from now on. I'll post my links to social media in below. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.